That's some bullshit. That shit said 2 minutes. Yo, Bob, that shit said 2 minutes and it cut off, bro. Okay, I thought Marv was gonna run away from me. Yo, my
I'm
bad,
good.
brother. It said 2 minutes though. It wasn't supposed to cut off.
Ain't no worries, man. No worries at all. You
So
know, what was that?
you get through your senior year. You guys lose at Fordham, and you already committed to Iona. Now let me ask you a question, because I asked Rick the same question, but I asked it the wrong way.
Yeah, I already know you never wanted to go to All Hallows, man. I would get you there, man. Trying to get you there.
All right. I asked Rick this question, and I forgot to ask Bob. Well, not Bob, because Bob didn't go to Iona. I asked Rick this question, but I asked it to him the wrong way. So I'm gonna ask you. Being that
Uh-huh.
the rivalry with Rice and All Hallows, right? When you
Uh-huh.
committed to Iona, did you know Steve Burt was gonna be there? And did it matter? Was the rivalry that serious?
For for me, it wasn't. You know,
Okay.
it wasn't. I know Steve from like at Rice. Steve passed the ball. Other than that, I never seen Steve pass the ball. So hearing that he was coming, to Iona,
Yeah.
or thinking about it, because I got asked, yo, you mind if Steve, come to Iona? I'm like, yo, the dude don't pass, like, you know. He ended up coming. It was cool. His pops, is played in each one, teach one.
Yeah.
So we all friendly, stuff like that.
Absolutely.
But Steve just had this, I don't know, chip on his shoulder about, I guess Rice or Hollows, whatever the case is, But for me, it wasn't serious at all. Like
Okay.
at this point, you know, for one, we're not competing, for the same spot. Two, you're my teammate, so
Same team.
even if we were competing for the same spot, there's no animosity. We got to go to war together.
Yeah.
If we don't compete, whatever it is. And mind you, I'm not really a practice, player. For me is learning my teammates, learning the plays, knowing, pretty much everybody's position, where they need to go, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and learning my guys. So for me, it was never a one-on-one thing. You know what I mean? It was never battling, one of my teammates for minutes or whatever the case is. Because from my understanding is, it's the coach's decision, from how he sees, they did their recruiting, stuff like that. We had games, we played in games, different things like that. So, and my activity on the court, speaks for itself, So these are all that stuff pretty much for me is out of my hands, So it was really no competition for me, and I didn't understand it, So
Yeah, because I remember when y'all all went after the Fordham game. I had coached that summer, and I had Rick, Bobby, Wingate, and Kirill, and Christian Brown. So I'm like, damn, these dudes just went at it in the chip, and now I'm gonna have them together all summer. They can all play, but how's this gonna work?
them dudes played together at Riverside.
But Bob and Wingate are like this since childhood. But me not knowing, because the only two that I knew that were like this was Bob and Jason, and then I knew Penny from my hood. Ricky,
Yeah.
I saw him play in my hood since he was 14. I never heard him say 2 words. I didn't know if he spoke English, Spanish, or what. And then Bob tells me about Kirill. I'm like, I don't care. He's 6'9", bring him through. But how y'all gonna mesh? You know what I mean? So I was thinking about that when you guys when you guys went to Iona. I'm like, I wonder if there was ever like, you know, initially, because whoever felt any type of way got to get over that. Y'all gonna be teammates for the next few years. So initially, maybe for the first time, you know, first couple of days, you're looking at him like, yo, you just took my chip, motherfucker, and he's looking at like, I got this chip, you know, like just a little mental thing that young kids go through. Not anything serious where dudes don't mess with each other. You know what I mean? Because y'all gonna be together for the next few years.
It's funny because, you know, we would laugh and joke. You know, the first thing Steve did, you know, when we got to school, because we actually dormed together in the quad, you know. So it's me, Carol, Ricky, and Steve. They roommates.
Yeah.
You know, first thing this dude does is, you know, put his championship ring on her.
That's what I mean.
You know, but he went around saying Marv don't like him, you know, stuff like, what are you talking about? Like,
that shit ain't got nothing to do with the price of toys and toys.
Yeah, so but and we did battle, you know, Steve and I. You know, I don't know if he wanted to play point guard or what, you know, but it was, as far as my IQ of the game, you know, and how I handle myself, you know, there was nobody was going to take that starting point guard spot,
Yeah.
you know, from me.
I mean, he's not a point guard. He's a scorer. He get buckets. He's a professional scorer.
That's I love him, but he can't pass. I love him.
But that, I don't think
But
he was
he tried
to do that. You know what I mean?
He tried. You know,
like for that kid get buckets in bunches.
No, he gets buckets. He's trained. He's a trained machine.
Killer. Yeah.
As far as scoring and shooting is concerned.
Yeah, absolutely.
His pop plays no games, man.
Yeah.
His pop no games.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
Yep. So getting into your Iona, right? What are your expectations going in? You got two more of your high school teammates with you. You know what I mean? You going into this college thing, and you're not going alone, so you got some type of comfort. You're close to home, so family can come see you play. You know what I mean? Like, what's that whole experience for you? Because you've been like, it's hard for things to move you because of what you was around your whole life. You know what I mean? And then, like Bob said, you've been playing basketball organized and had muscles since you were 3, and you said 4. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, by the time he gets to college, he's like a 20-year veteran, man. You know what I mean? What was that college, like that freshman experience like for you basketball-wise? You know what I mean? Getting out there, playing with these on the next level. You know what I mean?
So, on TV before I went to the school, I watched Iona play against Manhattan.
Okay.
And I'm looking and I'm like, okay, Ed Starks is going to be there. You know, Ed Starks is from my building. I told you he went to Rutgers.
Yes, sir.
Ended up transferring to Iona. You know, watching my man Muggsy play, I came up under him at the Gauchos. You know, I'm like,
my God,
all right, yeah, right. You know, Courtney Fields. You know, like we're gonna be good. You know, I already, you know, understood that the kid Solomon Brown was leaving. You know, he was a sophomore point guard. You know, so that's why they were looking to get a point guard.
Okay.
You know, but Ed Starks was there. You know, so I'm like, okay, cool. That summer, my brother, this is my first taste of, you know, pretty much working out, you know, getting ready for a season or whatever the case is. You know, never done it before, you know, so my brother was like, yo, listen, we gotta get up in the morning and work out. I'm like, all right, cool. But yo, we getting up at 5. I said, 5? You know, so we go to the course, we work out, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, Ed Starks, you know, is up early, sees us coming out. Yo, I'm going to come out here next week. Never came out. I'm thinking he's coming to Iona with me. You know, he's going to be there. He wasn't there. I'm like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, so it's the 4 of us, you know, me, Rick, Kiru and Steve, as freshmen. And then I don't think we had a sophomore.
Okay.
Couple juniors and seniors.
Yeah.
We had a junior college transfer, Steve Smith. A senior two guard, about 5'9", 5'10". But he could shoot the ball.
Yeah.
And, Courtney Fields, Greg Jenkins, Charles Henson. I team up with Charles Henson again. And Randy Williams is on that team. And I think that, walk on, I think that was it really.
Yeah.
We I'm not expecting to start before I get there, but pretty much, is written that I'll be the starting guard.
Yeah.
So in each situation, high school and college, I'm walking into a starting position. Now, for me, now that you think about it, it's good and bad. There's nobody to learn from.
Yeah.
Except for the coach.
Yeah.
But you get thrown in the fire, you get game ready, battle tested, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm in a rotation. I pretty much don't come out the game, but I'm pretty much vibing with Courtney Fields. He's 6'9" with a handle, can shoot the ball. He's our pretty much what you would call a stretch four.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you, nobody could guard him.
Yep.
He had skills in low post skills, so.
Got you.
And you got Greg Jenkins. He wound up not playing with us that full season. He ended up getting hurt. Athletic Charles Henson, and Steve Smith, he's 6'5", but he's built like a ox,
Right.
and as hell, and then, had the shooter, Maceo Wolford, and then the young guns coming off the bench, Steve and Ricky.
Yeah.
So they struggled, they were young, young and dumb, running around, chasing and, coming late to practice, stuff like that. I was pretty much, disciplined, I didn't go out like that. I was heading the books, getting ready for practice, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and that ended up being a really good season for me. Went out to Florida, got all tournament out there, for maybe about the first 8 or 9 games. I was in the top 5 in 3-point shooting.
Okay.
So
there you go.
And it was pretty much, I had Steve Smith down there going to work. I had Courtney Fields going to work. It was just for me to hit an open jump shot, and Maceo was a pure shooter. So it was like a no-brainer, really,
Yeah.
So our battles were with Manhattan, Lou Flores, me and Lou Flores got into it. And Steve Burt was a defender,
Okay.
who ended up taking a back seat to defending, later on. But me and Steve took duties in guarding the best guards, on the court. And we shared duties with Lou Flores, along with Maceo. Maceo really played defense.
Got you.
Lou was crafty, skillful. He got to the free throw line. Dude didn't miss free throws. But I ended up earning my respect. It was kind of like the same thing with Kenny Satterfield, had with Lou Flores.
Mm-hmm.
And but I competed, so you earn guys' respect that way.
Absolutely.
Battling Jason Wingate and Kenny Minor, as far as running our teams is concerned.
Yeah.
They really had it tough, come down, pass the ball to Luke, get out the way, you know.
Facts. I had a whole
You
bunch
get
of friends on that
get
Manhattan team. Muggs, D. Holmes, Jay Johnson, P. Mully,
D Holmes was there when I was there.
Wingate, all of
Double J was there. You know, that's my man Jared. Uh, yeah, but Muggs wasn't there. Muggs had
He
graduated.
left already. Yeah, yep.
Yeah, Muggs had graduated. I actually saw my man Muggs last week. I think saw
Okay.
Muggs last week. He got two kids that's gonna be killers. They're gonna be monsters.
Spoke to them the other day. Yeah, D-Day and Mike. Yes.
But yeah, I think those guys had it rough. You know, so
Yeah.
you know, my highlight, you know, that freshman year, you know, I had a few highlights. I ended up, you know, Ricky and I made the all freshman team, you know, so that was a pretty good year, you know. Had a few double doubles, had a almost triple double. We had a triple overtime game against Manhattan, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I was down on myself. I had 9 turnovers, man, and you know, spoke to Tone. Tone know how to twist shit around for you, man. Make you feel good. You know, he said, "Mark, said you're a freshman. You got the ball 90% of the time. Like, who's expecting you to not turn the ball over?"
Yeah.
You know, but you know, if it's not you, it's somebody else. It's not like, you know, we had an overwhelming amount of turnovers for the team. You know, you just have the ball. I'm like, all right, I could look. Wait, but I had 9 rebounds, 9 points, 9 assists to go along with my 9
With 9
turnovers.
turnovers.
You know, but it was a great game. You know, I was pretty much like a fourth quarter, you know, second half, you know, end of game type player, you know, as far as shots on, knowing what to do, stuff like that.
Okay.
You know, looking at how my cousin played, you know, it's pretty much in the blood that way, and you know, controlling things at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And I pretty much put the team on my back that double or triple overtime game. But I knew when my bread was buttered, you know,
Yeah.
as far as the last shot, you know, to win. You know, I have every confidence in the world to take the last shot, you know, but if it's gonna be somebody else, you know, and I just hit like the last 2-3 shots.
Yeah.
And my thing is they need something different. So who do I go to? I gave the ball to Ricky.
Okay.
I know. Told Ricky to come out, passed it to Ricky, cleared out. He took it to the basket, you know, did his thing, you know, scored. We went on and won that game. So that was good, you know. Unfortunately, we won 17 games that year. You know, unfortunately, our guys pretty much didn't come to play. I think I had 16-12 our last game losing. You know, but it was a fun year for me.
Your
You
freshman
know,
year.
it was a great experience. We beat UNC at the Garden that year.
Your
You
freshman
know,
year, your sophomore year.
freshman year.
Freshman year. What was that?
Yeah.
What was that like?
That was, you know, hearing stories about, you know, guys playing in the Garden and stuff like that. I had my uncle, you know, in the stands, Fred Crawford. My pops was there. You know, my first shot, I pulled from beyond NBA range, man. But the rim seems like it's close but far. You don't really know where it is because of, you know, the stands. There's no wall, you know, so it's different. The lights are bright. Don't look up,
Yeah.
you know. It was a great experience though, man. You know, being on that floor playing, you know, and then beating, you know, I think they were ranked 22nd or 23rd.
You beat
You
the
know,
team that went on to win the national championship.
eventually,
Eventually, yeah.
they won it 3 years
3 years
later.
later.
You know,
Yep.
but
Seniors.
it was pretty much their freshmen versus our freshmen.
That.
You know, me head to head with Raymond Felton.
And Sean May and them.
You know, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. This before Sean May got hurt. I think he might have got hurt that game, you know, but Courtney Fields and Steve Smith, you know, really went to work, that game. Steve didn't have a good game, but we ended up playing against Manhattan. We played Manhattan 3 times that year.
Okay.
Because we played Manhattan in the championship of that tournament. Steve had a really good game that game. Steve was funny, man. Steve, you knew when Steve was having a good game, man. When Steve was having a good game, he was playing defense. So he had a great game that day. We ended up losing, but he had a great game that day. Yeah. So that year it was pretty good, and I'm looking at next year. Courtney was Prop 48, so I'm expecting him to come back. Greg Jenkins coming off his injury. Steve and Ricky, they got a year under their belt. Kirill didn't play much, unfortunately, and he didn't get. For me, wasn't good. He didn't get taught as much as he should have from Jeff Rulin.
Yeah.
Rick, in the past,
he had him doing was mic and drills. That was it.
But for me, he had that with Coach Carey. He was doing Coach Carey moves his whole career there. And when you look back at the previous big men at the school, you got Nakia Miller, you got Kashif Ahmed, and these dudes got moves.
Yeah, footwork.
I'm like, yo. He said, yo, Jeff taught us all of that. Me talking to Cash. And I'm like, so what the hell happened with Kirill? Like, he get his, and matter of fact, Charles had that too. He picked up a little bit from Jeff, but he also got that same teaching from Coach Carey, even though, Charles wanted to step out and shoot threes.
Yeah.
So Charles had moves, man, but Kirill didn't get taught the right way, you ask me, man.
Gotcha.
To be honest, and the guys after him, Gary Springer Jr., Ant Bruin, Justin Marsh, those guys didn't. He could have taught them a whole lot.
A whole lot.
Looking at
Nakia, absolutely.
Looking at Nakia, looking at Cash, and them letting me know that all of that came from Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been bad.
Rulin was an NBA dude. Like, he know what it takes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, tough dude, bruiser. He was down with Rick Mahorn, so
Yeah, absolutely. So you come back your sophomore year, right?
Sophomore year, first year of my career. They brought on Deshaun Williams, transferred in from Syracuse. All Big East, I think second team, something like that. He really messed up the chemistry. Cody Fields didn't come back. And him and Steve. Steve was supposed to be starting to come into his own. That year.
Okay.
Him and Steve battling for shots and stuff like that, and just a terrible, terrible, terrible season. Good example playing against Fordham. And it's a close game. It shouldn't be close, but it's a close game. They have a great team, pretty good team. And Deshaun Williams fouls out. Close game. Coach, forget his name right now. I'm damn near half court. Deshaun gets his 5th foul. Coach says, fuck, I need him for 2 more minutes. I said, you need him for 2 more minutes. I looked at him, I said, too? It was just cancerous, man. He didn't touch the ball 2 times down. He's pulling from half.
Okay.
It was bad, man. Bad. He ended up not making the game, at Manhattan. Guys looking for him. I'm like, what are y'all looking for him for, man? All right. Let's play, man. We gonna be great without him.
Facts.
And we went out to, and this is, Steve's coming out game. I think Ricky's hurt at this time.
Okay. And
it's just me, and we going to work. We're going to work together. Playing at Rhode Island. I'm finally, getting them back. As far because they pretty much stopped recruiting. I told them I wanted to wait a little bit. And they pretty much stopped recruiting me. So, and I'm playing well. I ended up fouling out.
Okay.
And I'm upset with myself because for me, this is a game that's like, letting Jeff know, like, I can put up some more points. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
We don't need Deshaun Williams.
Gotcha.
I was told before the season started, like, yo, tell Jeff you leaving. I'm like, tell Jeff I'm leaving for what? Because I got my head in the books and stuff like that. I don't know what's going on.
Absolutely.
I wasn't going there. Jeff called me like, yo, listen, I hear you leaving. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
He said, I left the office, but the thing was, he was told that we don't need Deshaun Williams. We got these young guys coming up. You got Steve and Ricky.
Yep.
We don't need Deshaun.
Yeah.
And that was
Got you.
That was a fact. We didn't need him.
Yep.
And Steve really came to play that game. He probably finished with like 18 points, something like that. And from there, it was like Steve was the guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
So we had a terrible season, won 11 or 12 games.
The sophomore year.
Terrible game. Terrible season.
Okay.
Sophomore. I think Ricky got hurt, so he was out for a while. Junior year, and again, I'm still not individuals, with the team and stuff like that was, for me, I'm good. I'm not really into the training and getting ready and,
Got it.
I don't have that type of pride for the game. Everything that I've done,
Yep.
At that point was all based on fun of the game, playing the game.
Yep.
However good anybody said I was, that was just me having fun. There's no real training, getting better, stuff like that. So everything that I did was just based off talent and having fun.
And why do you think that is? Like, why weren't you approaching?
It was instilled in me, as far as, education,
Oh, got you.
It was also instilled with me that, this is a game, and everybody's not making it to the NBA. Is make sure you get your education because you're gonna have life after basketball.
Yeah, you're gonna need a job eventually doing something.
I still tell kids still to this day, like, how long do you think you're gonna play basketball? As good as you want to be, how long you gonna play basketball?
Yeah.
Yo, man, play ball till I'm 40. I said, how long you want to live?
Exactly. That's
about 80. I said, you got a whole nother life after basketball. You got 40 more years.
Yeah. What you gonna do? Yep.
And my pops was like, work, school, home, then basketball. So it was all just fun. It's the game that I love to play.
Got you.
So, and even my senior year in high school, you're supposed to be training. You're probably supposed to be training to go to college.
Yeah.
After practice, I was going to tutor.
Got it. Yeah, yeah.
I was going to tutor. Somebody who needed tutoring.
Yep.
So that's where I was with it.
Yeah.
So junior year, another trying year. Coach pretty much told me that he was gonna send me to a camp to help me with my shot, whatever the case is.
Okay.
Me not thinking of it, I'm working, going to school, summer school, whatever the case is, getting these grades right. He ends up sending my man Justin Marshall. I didn't put two and two together until later on, and for me it's like, why didn't you just send both of us? Obviously I'm your point guard, and don't you think that it would be great to have your point guard able to shoot the ball a lot better than what he's doing?
Absolutely.
So why not invest in it? You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So that season, he decides that he wants to bring me off the bench. Now, mind you, his whole staff got fired. So Tony Childs is gone. My man Ace, who he helped me with my jump shot, you know. But for me, it was like, it doesn't look like this dude played the game, you know. So I took some pointers, you know, but I was, you know, firm in, you know, what I thought was the right way, you know, and stuff like that. So he helped a little bit, you know, and then, you know, it was pretty much back to, and he pretty much gave up, you know.
Okay.
Because he saw that there was no trust, you know, in what he was saying.
Yeah.
You know, Ace wound up practicing with us my sophomore year because, you know, all the stuff that, you know, Deshaun Williams, we had 9 guys in practice, you know, a few times.
Got you.
So Ace was up, you know, practicing with us, knocking down shots left and right, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and Ace is, I don't know, 5'8", you know, not athletic, white boy, you know, but, you know, he was my guy, you know. He and Tone, you know, took care of me, you know, when I needed, you know, times where calf is closed, you know, how we gonna eat?
Yeah. Yeah.
Calf is, yo, we don't got no money, like we need to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So I pretty much got money for all 4 of us, you know, like
Yeah.
eat, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and campus is closed at the time.
Yeah.
Forget about the campus. Campus is closed because it's during the winter.
Okay.
You know. You know, so junior year he decided to bring me off the bench. He got a whole new staff, you know, but he had Sam Worthen, you know, who's a really good, you know, guard coming out of New York.
Yeah.
Played at Marquette, you know, played with the Bulls.
Okay.
So, and I believe he coached in like the ABA and stuff like that before then. Mouse, what up?
Mouse was good. Yes, sir.
You know, so I called Tone, you know, like, yo, Tone, this dude got me coming off the bench. But, you know, I went to him, you know, I'm like, yo, why am I coming off the bench?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be playing against, you know, some bigger, you know, some higher programs, you know, they got bigger guys, stuff like that. We pretty much just want to go big. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, but all right, you know. And I called my pops. She's like, yo, just tell him why. Tell him what's on your mind. So I go back. I'm like, yo, Jeff, if you really want to go big, it's probably best to bring Steve or Ricky off the bench. That way we got some scoring power coming off the bench. You know, you want to bring a pure point guard off the bench and you want Ricky to run the point. I'm like, I don't necessarily think that's going to work. You know,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think you're going to get what you think you're going to get from Justin.
Okay.
So this is my team. I'm like, all right. If I had any sense, I probably would have left. I probably should have left it, you know.
Got you.
But at that same time, it's like, you know, you chose to go there. You stuck it out when, you know, when Tone and them left. So, you know, stick through it. And I'm like, you know, it's not going to work. But all right, cool. First game, Justin plays pretty well. He had about 8 rebounds or something like that. I had 9 points, 9 assists coming off the bench.
Okay.
Didn't feel right, you know, because me coming in off the bench, Ricky running the point, I come in the game for either Justin or Steve.
Yeah.
And when I'm coming in the game is Ricky still want to run the point.
Got you.
This doesn't work.
Yeah.
I want to win.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I want to win.
Yeah.
I know if I'm on one wing and Steve is on the other wing and Ricky is bringing down, Ricky's not looking for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
If it's a decision between me and Steve, he's going to Steve.
Yep.
To me, that doesn't make any sense. So what am I on the court for? Because I don't see me getting the ball out and, you know, scouting reporters, he's not a real good shooter.
Yep.
So I'm not creating space. So, you know, eventually, you know, Justin's production, you know, went down. But the bad part is they didn't speak to him, you know. So something like that, you know, you never know if the kid is sensitive or not, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
You got to have a talk with him. Then talk to him. Sat him on the bench. I started halfway through the season. And, we started winning more.
Yeah.
But we lost Justin. Because Justin don't know what he did wrong to end up on the bench.
Yeah.
When he gets in, he's not the same. So now his minutes start decreasing even further. So it wasn't good,
Yep.
So not a really good season. I think we ended up winning 15 games.
Gotcha.
Not a good season. As far as in training, every summer I got hurt. Every summer I sprained my ankle.
Damn.
So
every summer I was in college?
Every summer.
Shit.
Every summer. Playing, not a real fan of street ball.
Yeah.
And my cousin got hurt, playing street ball. My pops don't play on concrete, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So all stuff plays in my head, and not a real fan of, I love Dykeman, but not a real fan of everybody being on the court. It turned into a one-on-one show.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me.
Gotcha.
If I'm in the stands, I love the atmosphere. It's great. It's good to see stuff like that. But it wasn't for me. For the summer, I played in Pro City.
Yeah.
With all the pros and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I would get my sweat playing with all of those guys.
Yep.
And guys seeing that I could play. And it's about being battle tested, playing against the best. All those guys who Smush Parker, Mike James.
Yeah.
Pros.
Pros.
Skip.
Yep.
Antoine Dovey, Junie Sanders, Mike Campbell, Reggie Freeman, playing against everybody.
Yeah.
I'm on the same team as Mookie, Speedy.
Okay.
The Beast.
Yeah. BJ.
Who else? And my man Murder, Darren Phillips, rebounder machine.
Yeah.
Natural Controller played with us a few games. John Strickland, RIP, that's my dude.
Yeah, rest in peace, Strick. Yeah, you was on the brick. What team was that?
This was United Brooklyn, coached by the legend Sid Jones.
Yeah.
I'm learning from these guys. Just Mookie, giving me his words, on the bench and stuff like that.
Yep.
He start when Speedy's not there. When Speedy he come off the bench. But Mookie is just giving me all the knowledge, all the tutelage. Speedy come out. He talks to me a little bit. Strict curse me out.
Yeah.
all teaching. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all teaching. Shit, BJ was on the bench.
Got you.
BJ on the bench. My man Lamar's on the bench. What's my man name that played at UNC? I can't think of his name right now. But and 40 played.
Okay.
Dwayne Woodward.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm watching these guys, and it's great games. And then when guys don't show up or whatever the case is, I'm out there. I'm scoring. I'm doing my thing, getting yelled at. Just learning. And making notice. Everybody know I could play, stuff like that. So it was. My summers were pretty good. As far as that's concerned. Playing with Sid. Stuff like that. And just getting the tutelage from the older guys,
from the vets.
Yeah.
Going into senior year at Iona.
Senior year.
Let me ask you something, because I called it, in the beginning of your senior year. I'm not gonna tell you who I told at Manhattan, but I said, Iona's gonna win that shit this year. They're like, you bugging. I said, there's no way them seniors are gonna lose the MAC this year, bro. And let me tell you something. That was my man. He's still my man. But for like 2 weeks after y'all took it, he wasn't my man. You know what I mean? But going into that year, not as a competitor, because as a competitor, you know you're always going to compete to win. You know what I mean? But looking at it realistically, did you know you guys were going to win, or did you feel you guys had a chance to win? Because I knew y'all was going to take the MAC that year, bro.
I really, from how we played the previous year,
Yeah.
at the end of that season,
Yep.
you know, I knew we were going to win.
Okay. Okay.
I knew we were going to win, but I knew we was going to have fits with Manhattan.
Okay. Yeah.
But I knew we were going to, if it came down into the playoffs, I knew we were going to win.
Okay.
You know, in the championship game.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, and but we lost to Manhattan twice that year.
Yep. And that's when I got the phone calls like, this is what you're talking about?
Yeah, we
I
lost.
was at one of them games.
That year. Unfortunately, we played Manhattan at Iona on Arturo's birthday.
Okay.
And Arturo went to work.
Okay.
You know, he went to work on his birthday every year.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, that was at Iona.
Yeah.
And we had a chance to beat them at Manhattan,
Yeah.
but we got ahead of ourselves. You know, we got complacent. We thought the game was over, stuff like that.
Yeah, yo, I was there, and they talked the most to me that day, boy.
Love Steve. And Steve was throwing kisses in the crowd, and I'm like, yo, we still got minutes to play, man. Yo, what are we doing? You know?
Yeah.
Ended up losing. It wasn't supposed to, but we ended up losing that game.
Yeah, they
you know,
at me for that. This is who you taking? You dead ass? Like, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Manhattan, Kiki had some unfinished business, you know, and he wanted them, you know. So unfortunate for them,
Yeah.
you know, they didn't make it to the championship.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And when they didn't make it to the championship, that was pretty much all she wrote, you know. We had Maris were good that year. Maris had Matt Brady, and I was assistant coach first 2 years. My man Ace, his best friend is Matt Brady. He ended up on that staff with Book. First time I met Book was during the playoffs, at the hotel, you know. And you know, he introduced himself, let me know who he was, you know, played with Jerry and you know stuff like that. I'm like, okay, cool. That was my first introduction to Book, you know, and he had brought in my man G Dot, you know, to Maris. So I kind of like took G Dot under my wing, you know, whispered some stuff in his ear, stuff like that during course of play, you know, because it was all love, you know, New York kid looked like he wasn't having a great time, you know. So
yeah.
And so that was pretty good, but they were good, man. You know, Matt Brady taught the whole team how to shoot. Man.
Okay.
At a point, it was pretty slow. You know, could pass his ass off. You know, and he and I was good. You know, guarding him. I'm like, oh yeah, he can't shoot. So you know, his little bit of quickness ain't gonna hurt. You know, I got some cushion, man. Senior year, man, dude's lighting it up. Lighting it up. You know, and he led the nation in assists.
Yeah.
You know, so he ended up going to I think he ended up getting drafted or getting picked up by Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. But you know, so Maris had a good year. But I knew when we met them in the playoffs, you know, that we was gonna beat them. You know.
Got it.
You know, they were expecting us to beat Manhattan and not meeting us in the playoffs.
Okay.
You know, so we beat them, I think, in the semifinal.
Yeah, I pretty much knew y'all had that one wrapped up that year, yo.
Yeah, it was pretty much over. We had a great year. We beat Iowa State, you know, at Iowa State in their tournament.
Yeah.
No, that's hot. You know, we beat we went out to Fresno State. You know, played against Quentin Hosley out there. You know, beat them. You know, we beat Portland. Played against what's the dudes? Creighton had a good. No, that was my junior year, I think. You know, but we pretty. Oh, we lost to Kentucky that year.
Yeah,
You
definitely
know,
got busy your senior year.
yeah, we added. That was a really really good season. You know, and we ended up winning the championship against Kiki and those guys. And losing to LSU, who eventually went to the Final Four
What was
in the
that
tournament.
NCAA tournament experience like for you?
It was red carpet. You know how you expect to get treated. You know, state police escorts. You know,
Yeah,
no traffic. You know, everything laid out, platters, everything. You know, great atmosphere. Bunch of reporters around. You know, it was beautiful. It was great.
that's fire. That's like a dream come true for every kid that
And,
plays basketball.
and we expected to win. You know, so that's the mindset. You know, where we were coming from. You know.
Absolutely. So you get through your senior year, you guys win the MAC, you get to the NCAA tournament, right? You guys lose to LSU. Now, being how you approach the whole school aspect of college, you know what I mean? Are you
Mm-hmm.
thinking pro basketball? Or you thinking work?
I'm thinking pro basketball.
Okay.
I'm thinking pro basketball. For one, I gave Iona everything that I felt that was needed. You know what I'm saying? You know, we won. I led this team 4 years. Whereas I didn't put up the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all it is a phone call or two, or somewhere led in the right direction.
Yeah.
Got 2 NBA players for coaches.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you guys have dealt with this before. You know, it should be something lined up as far as you being in this game for that long.
Got it. And how'd that go for you?
It didn't go well.
Okay.
You know, it didn't go well. Went up to, Jeff called me in his office. You know, he has a, senior meeting with all the seniors, pretty much asking them what they want to do.
Yep.
You know, he asked me what I want to do. I tell him, I want to play ball.
Yeah.
Tells me, I got a $50,000 job for you on Wall Street. I want to play ball. Can you help me with that?
Yeah.
He says he don't have the connections for that level. I'm like, what level?
Yeah.
You know, like you recruited me. You've seen me play.
Yeah.
You know, you've seen me score in this league. You know, obviously it's not every night because that is not what it's called for. Because you got Steve and you got Ricky, and them dudes ain't passing it to Kirill. You know, so
Yeah.
you know that's my mindset. You know, I'm a winner. You know, I play this game to win. You know, where's the love, the help, it's you could say a thank you, but it's not really a thank you. It's, just looking out, whatever it is that you can do.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't get that.
Okay.
So, but Sam Worthen, hooked me up. I pretty much started at the low of low. You know, he hooked me up with a tryout with the ABA team.
Okay.
I started out in the ABA.
Okay.
Not that great of a situation.
Yep.
You know, wasn't a lot of money involved at all.
Yeah.
You know, and pretty much it was like a favor to Sam. You know, because again, I'm not a practice guy. You know, I hate tryouts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody wants to be the man during tryouts.
Yeah.
I'm really not on that wave.
Yeah.
You know, I pretty much play the game the right way.
Gotcha.
You know, and so I ended up pretty much as a I guess like a relief player, like the 13th, 14th, 15th man, so played home games, whatever the case is. They wound up, sending everybody home midway through the season. Did something out in Canada, a couple guys. So they sent everybody home, pretty much said, yo, we'll call you if you're coming back. At that time they owed me about $120.
Okay.
Send me my money. It's only $120.
Yeah.
So that never came. They, I wound up calling them, but eventually they called me to come back and play. And at that same time, one of my brother friends passed. I say one of my brother friends because, he was my friend as well.
Yeah.
But he and my brother, they were really, really tight. And I didn't realize how that hit me, but when I was playing, they realized, how it affected me.
I got it.
We were real close though. They will always be at the house, stuff like that, hanging out, different things like that, so it kind of affected, the way that I played. And when I came back, it was good. I was playing, I was putting up numbers, at that time, averaging about 10, 12 points.
Okay.
So a lot different from college, and me playing in Pro City, I wasn't averaging 4, 6 points in Pro City. When I played out there, I was averaging about, somewhere in between 10 and 15, during those times,
Yeah.
when I played,
Yeah.
But before the season though, matter of fact, after I got sent home, I'm pretty much, I felt like a bum,
Yeah.
laying in my, getting up, going to the fridge, nothing there, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Well, the same thing, it ain't like it's nothing. It's like, it was just boredom.
Yep.
I called my cousin. He was at Manhattan Center. He was a dean there. Yo, I need to do something, man. He said, all right, come 0 period. So I started getting up, and it was, in the weight room, getting on the bike, push-ups, sit-ups, for the short period of time that we had there, and running on the treadmill. I just got in pretty much tip-top shape, and then at the same time, I called Book. I didn't really have a relationship with him, but he was at the Gauchos at this time, and obviously I'm Gaucho alum, so I called Book. He said, yeah, come in, come about 8 o'clock. I'm like, all right, cool. Book pretty much was instrumental in my final process of learning how to shoot.
Got it.
I'm in there for an hour and a half, just working on shooting. He was under Matt Brady, so he had all the tricks of the trade and, the teaching and stuff like that. And he really fixed my jump shot, and it worked out very, very well for me, in the sense that you don't necessarily hear, watch, shooter over here, I'm like, shooter, I'm looking where with me, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, I can pretty much shoot the basketball, and it worked out really well. Like I said, I was averaging, I was shooting the ball a lot better. I actually, think I shot about 40%, my senior year, somewhere around there, but then, it just got a lot better, after that.
Okay.
And, so that season with the ABA, monetarily, it wasn't great, but getting in the flow of things, now got, a coach who giving me the opportunity, playing well, but it's not really going, the way that I would, or that you would assume that it's going, being that you're playing well, you don't have an agent, different things like that.
Yeah.
So from there, pretty much the next step is ABA again, you know.
Got you.
So in some ways, you know, I'm like, you know, I need to get some money, you know. I don't ask my parents for anything, you know, because they pretty much taught us, you know, to be independent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at the same time, I'm in the house and I'm not paying no rent. So, so from there, you know, my man Jomo, he hooked me up. I start, you know, substitute teaching,
Okay.
you know, up in Mount. And then there's a tryout, you know, next season for another ABA, you know, team. And I'm still playing them, you know, in Pro City, stuff like that. So I get friendly with Headed, you know, with Tim Gittens.
Tim Gittens, yes, sir.
We had the tryout, see Tim, you know, working out, stuff like that. You know, the tryout was going okay. You know, there's a whole bunch of people there. And for me, there's a whole bunch of Westchester people, you know, so for me, it's like, you know, all right, I'm just here. This ain't going to go nowhere, you know. But Tim is, you know, his sister is Teresa Weatherspoon.
Mm-hmm.
So they had wound up asking, you know, Spoon to coach the team.
Okay.
And Tim was pretty much like, yo, we good, you know. So we had a really good team, you know, with Tim, Jomo Belfort,
Mm-hmm.
Jason Silva, Ricky Johns, who's assistant coach at Iona now.
Yep.
This kid Nick, my man, was Drew got a handle on here, 1-2 combo. You know.
Oh yes, sir.
Yeah, Drew was on that team. You know, a few other guys was on it. Oreo was on that team. You know, and we pretty much had a great team. I came off the bench, you know, backing up Headed. You know, Jomo and Ricky took the brunt, you know, of the points, but it was these were high scoring games.
Okay.
You know, beating against a lot of guys, you know, and it was pretty much good. I averaged about 10 points coming off the bench with those guys, about 10 and 5, 10 and 6, you know, playing with those guys. Because, I mean, those guys could really, really shoot the ball.
Yeah.
You know, having Jomo and Ricky on either end. And it wasn't a lot of mistakes.
Absolutely.
You know, and Spoon was great for me, you know, as far as training and, you know, her motivation, you know, for the team and stuff like that. She was great, you know, and I wound up getting a call from a friend, you know, overseas who his old coach, you know, needed a guard to come out there. And I pretty much put her on the phone with, you know, with the organization for her to talk. And, you know, she worked out, you know, some light numbers for me, whatever the case is. And I ended up going out to Germany.
Marv,
That season.
it's 2 minutes left. What you want to do? You want to end it, or you want to? It's on you.
You could go. It's going. It ain't gonna be much longer.
No.
Man.
It don't bother me because I want to get into what you're doing after basketball and all that. You know what I mean? That's part of this because I know.
Yeah, you could go again.
All right, cool. I'm gonna log out and log back in.